I moved to Chicago after my divorce. I needed a fresh start, somewhere quiet, affordable, and away from all the noise of my old life. The apartment on West Monroe Street wasn't anything special, but it was clean and cheap. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. The landlord, Mrs. Langley, was an older woman in her late 60s. She wore way too much perfume and had a nervous way of talking, like she was always rushing to get somewhere else. As I was signing the lease, she paused for a second and said, "Don't worry if you hear anything at night. The man in 6B keeps to himself, doesn't like to be bothered." I didn't think much of it at the time. I was too focused on starting over. The first few days went by like a dream. I unpacked my things, set up my tiny home office, and made a habit of walking to the local diner every morning for coffee and eggs. The neighborhood was quiet, mostly elderly people, young professionals and students. It was October, and the trees lining the street had turned vibrant shades of gold and crimson. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I had made the right choice. Then the sound started. It happened every single night, without fail, at exactly 1:13 a.m. Footsteps. Slow, dragging footsteps. They came from the unit directly below mine, apartment 6B. They paced back and forth. Sometimes they paused for a moment, then started again. Always the same rhythm, always ending around 2-3 a.m. Then total silence. At first, I thought maybe the guy was just a night owl or had a weird schedule, but it started to feel unnatural, too consistent, like a loop on repeat. The pacing never changed. It didn't speed up. It didn't slow down. It was like someone was walking a path they had memorized down to the inch. Curiosity got the best of me. One morning, I decided to knock on his door. No answer. I leaned in slightly and noticed a strange smell, burned wood. Faint, but definitely there. Like a fireplace that hadn't been cleaned. Or ash. Later that day, I brought it up to Mrs. Langley. She looked at me over her glasses and said, "I told you not to worry. He's been through things, doesn't like company." That evening, I ran into one of the other tenants in the hallway, Mr. Darnell. Retired, soft-spoken, always watering the plants near the front entrance. I casually asked, "Hey, do you know the guy in 6B? His friendly smile vanished instantly. 6B? He repeated. "Nobody's lived in 6B since the fire." I felt a chill run through me. What fire? He looked around to make sure no one else was listening and lowered his voice. "About 2 years ago, a man named Ethan White lived there. Worked from home, quiet guy, no family, kept to himself. One night there was a fire in his unit, didn't even spread that much, but he didn't make it out. They found him near the door, looked like he was crawling for help. That night I couldn't sleep. At exactly 1:13 a.m. the footsteps started again. Only this time they weren't coming from below me. They were in my apartment. I sat upright in bed, paralyzed. My bedroom door slowly creaked open. I know I closed it. I always do. There was no draft, no pet. I live alone. In the doorway stood a shadow, barely visible, but definitely there. It was limping, deliberate, slow. I slammed the door and locked it. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might burst out of my chest. And then I heard the dragging sound again. But now it was on my side of the door. I didn't sleep at all. By morning I had made up my mind. I started packing everything, throwing clothes into trash bags, wrapping dishes in towels. I didn't even bother organizing. I just wanted out. I called a moving truck and left the same day. 2 weeks later, I came back with a friend to pick up a package that had been delivered there by mistake. Everything seemed normal. Too normal. As we walked back to the car, something made me glance up at the building. The window of apartment 6B. Someone was standing there, watching, limping and smiling.